Championship Boxing.
The following is a presentation of HBO Sports.
We're going to see what kind of shape Chavez Jr. is in tonight, because Vera going to make him earn everything.
When first they met in the ring 5 months ago, the roles were clearly defined for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and Brian Vera. The crowd favorite with the famous bloodlines versus the unheralded underdog with something to prove.
Vera's enthusiasm is rising as he realizes he can land in combination against Chavez.
Early on, the fight didn't go as planned for a seemingly underprepared Chavez. But as the night progressed, the Mexican star's power kept him competitive.
And there's a huge left hook. Big comeback shot for Chavez. Classic scoring conundrum for the judges. Do I score for the guy who is throwing more and landing more, or do I score for the guy whose shots are thunderous?
In the end, what many saw as an upset win for Vera was instead a disputed unanimous decision victory for Chavez. Tonight, the two men square off once again.
Yo creo que va a ser una gran pelea. Lo mucho que dure o lo poco que dure. Eso está en mi mente. Ganar claramente. No dejar dudas.
Do I prove everybody wrong again? We're going to throw them off. It's going to be the biggest win of my career for sure.
Another fighter aiming to make a statement is 26-year-old Ukrainian featherweight Vasyl Lomachenko.
A phenomenal-looking performance by an extraordinary athlete.
Tonight, the two-time Olympic gold medalist attempts to make history by winning a title in what's billed as just his second professional fight. Eager to derail that lofty ambition is hard-punching veteran Orlando Salido. Live from San Antonio, Texas, it's a World Championship Boxing doubleheader. Orlando Salido takes on Vasyl Lomachenko, followed by the rematch between Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and Brian Vera. Next. Cool night in San Antonio, one of the great boxing venues in North America, a city which almost always produces a spirited crowd and tremendous appreciation for the event. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley. Welcome to this special HBO World Championship Boxing doubleheader later tonight. In the main event, the focus is on Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and Brian Vera, the rematch of their highly controversial fight last September 28 in Carson, California. The opening showed you exactly how the controversy unfolded as Vera appeared in the eyes of most to have won the fight by outworking Chavez Jr., and all three judges produced scorecards favoring the Mexican star. And tonight, and the questions about Chavez Jr.'s commitment to his boxing career are ever present. They rise again here as he entered the arena at 8:41 p.m. In other words, about 10 minutes ago, for a main event which could conceivably take place as early as 9:15 or so. Remains to be seen whether this late entrance is going to affect the scheduling or conduct of the main event. We'll cover that story as it develops and as the evening goes on. Meanwhile, the preliminary bout, one of the most intriguing events that we've covered in quite some time, as one of the real grizzled veterans of the sport, Orlando Salido, gave up his featherweight title on the scale yesterday, failing to make weight and failing really to make an effort to get down after originally weighing in at 128.5 pounds. He gave up his title, but Vasyl Lomachenko, fighting in what's billed as only his second professional fight, can win it if, in fact, he defeats Salido. Otherwise, the title goes vacant if Salido wins the fight. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape for Vasyl Lomachenko of Ukraine against Orlando Salido, and you see the 7-year age advantage in favor of the recently turned pro Lomachenko. He's also got a 1-inch height advantage, arm length measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. He's got a 1-inch advantage. He's a southpaw. Salido's a conventional fighter. There again, a look at the weights. Lomachenko well under the 126-pound limit. Orlando Salido 2¼ pounds above it, and made no effort to go further toward making the weight. But look at the unofficial scale numbers tonight. Salido having rehydrated all the way up to 147 pounds, and Lomachenko is 136. So there'll be a functional, unofficial 11-pound weight advantage for the veteran Salido entering the ring. Soon to be joined at ringside by our HBO boxing analyst Max Kellerman and World Championship boxing expert Roy Jones. Let's go to Max right now for a look at the picture of the featherweight division.
Well, this division's wide open right now. Salido and Lomachenko will start to bring some clarity. Donaire and Vasyl in Macau coming up will also aid in that regard. Gonzalez, Gradovich, and Morris are title holders and likely contenders. There's no clear-cut favorite in the division right now unless Lomachenko looks tonight as a pro like the world beater he's been as an amateur.
395 wins in 396 amateur fights, 2 Olympic gold medals. Lomachenko is attempting to make history tonight. No fighter's ever won a title belt in just his 2nd professional bout. But when you look at Lomachenko, you see exactly why this highly decorated amateur believes he can pull it off.
I was born and raised in Ukraine, in a small town called Belgorod-Dnestrovsky. It's not too far from Odessa and is located close to the Black Sea. I got into boxing relatively early, when I was about 4 or 5 years old. It was due to the fact that my father was a boxing trainer. When it was time for me to make a decision about what I want to do with my life, I went with boxing. I set a goal to win a gold medal in the Olympics and to become a professional boxer one day.
And we'll see if Lomachenko can bring something in his first appearance in a prize fight ring in America.
When I made my pro debut, I was overwhelmed with the thought that I became a prize fighter. It seems like only such a short time ago that I was a kid, dreaming about winning the Olympic gold medal, and now I'm fighting professionally.
Good body shot.
Oh, that was a thunderous shot, and Russell Nora is going to wave it off.
I have a good idea on how a pro career is built up if a fighter has potential to become a star. He's usually safeguarded through a bunch of punching bags to beef up his record and build confidence while creating a lot of publicity around him. To me, that's boring. I know that my skill level allows me to fight current champions in my weight division. And that's why I'm fighting for a title in my 2nd professional bout. Salido is a very experienced and strong fighter, but I'm extremely confident in my skills. I know I can beat him, and yes, I'm cocky about it too.
In direct contrast to political activist Vitaly Klitschko and his younger brother Vladimir Klitschko, the heavyweight champion, Lomachenko comes not from the Ukrainian capital of Kiev, but from a section of the country where the populace speaks Russian and where sympathies amid the current political unrest may in fact lie with the Russian regime. He was extremely careful to be totally neutral in his comments about that within the past week, saying only that he hopes for the safety of all Ukrainian citizens. Roy Jones, among all the things that could be predictors of success in professional boxing, where would you rank a great amateur career?
Well, you got to rank it at the top, especially a guy who has Olympic experience. You got to remember, when you fight in the Olympics, it's almost like you can fight Riddick Bowe, Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, all in the same week, and he did it twice. So there's nothing more comparable to that as far as a professional career goes.
A couple of world championships as well, which is of course the same kind of competition. His maturity is unquestioned. Max Kellerman, does he have the kind of punching power and other skills necessary to beat somebody like Salido?
I think he showed that in his first fight over here that we covered. Won every round and ended the fight with a 1-punch knockout to the body. He is a complete fighter, it seems to me.
And we mentioned attempting to become a fighter, the first fighter to win a title in what's billed as his second pro bout. There is a technicality. After his amateur career was over, he fought an event called the World Series of Boxing. There were a half dozen fights. They were fought with professional rules and without headgear. He argues they weren't like professional fights because he couldn't actually close the gloves that they were using, but some say he's already had 7 professional fights.
If you get paid for a fight, it's a pro fight. It's very simple.
Orlando Salido has campaigned at featherweight almost his entire career, but it seemed this week that the 33-year-old had come to the end of the line at 126 pounds.
It's always been an issue for me, but I always have to sacrifice to make weight. I've been here 10 years at 126, you know, and all of those that were around me have already left, moved up to 140, 147. But I'll do everything possible so that everything comes out right.
He was very cranky yesterday morning when we met to speak with him prior to the weigh-in. At the weigh-in, you see here, stepped onto the scale, weighed well above the 126-pound limit, and then chose to give up his title as he put on his pants and started drinking water right away. His manager, Sean Gibbons, said it wasn't worth the physical damage at this stage of his career for him to try to lower the weight. You agree, Roy?
Yes, I totally agree. Not only to mention that if he gives himself up and tries to lose that extra weight, he's just weakening himself coming in against the best possible 3-round fighter ever. Don't give any more advantages or disadvantages than you already have given.
So now he's put on 19 pounds unofficially overnight and will come into the ring with an 11-pound weight advantage over Lomachenko. Advantage, Salido?
Yes, in terms of size, obviously, he's the bigger guy. You can see he looks like a big, strong fighter at the weight anyway. But I think more than anything, what his not even attempting to make weight after weighing in heavy shows is that Salido regards Lomachenko as his most difficult challenge. He hasn't pulled a stunt like this before that I can remember. He must feel that he can't afford any disadvantage losing weight quickly, and in fact needs an advantage weighing in heavier than the weight class allows in order to compete with Lomachenko.
Many anticipate potentially a tale of 2 fights. In other words, can Salido make it through the first 6 rounds with Lomachenko? Can Lomachenko make it through the last 6 rounds with Salido?
Speed kills, Jim, and you saw his hands look like they're almost as fast as mine in that preview. I think that's going to be his advantage.
I think the consensus coming into this fight is what happens if Salido can get Lomachenko into the late rounds and use that hard-headed professional veteran experience. Who's to say Salido gets into the late rounds? That may not be an easy trick.
Hard-headed may be a well-chosen term. Lomachenko's people at the rules meeting and in the discussion with the referee again tonight, extremely concerned about Salido's use of his head. Now let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the world-famous Alamo Dome of San Antonio, Texas, where tonight Top Rank Incorporated is proud to present an evening of world-class professional prize fighting for your entertainment. Sanctioned by Tecate, Cerveza con Carácter, all bouts sanctioned by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation. This first contest also sanctioned by the World Boxing Organization Supervisor Leon Panacillo. The 3 judges at ringside will be Levi Martinez, Jack Reese, Oren Schellenberger, and inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, referee Lawrence Cole. And now Top Rank Incorporated and Zanfer Promotions are proud to present 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant WBO Featherweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trimmed with gold, official weight 125 1/4 pounds. Tonight, with only 1 professional victory, he will attempt to make history and capture this vacant world title. From Bielhorod, Dnistrovskia, Ukraine, the 2-time Olympic gold medal champion, Dami Gaspena, Vasyl, high-tech Lomachenko. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue with silver, officially weighing in at 128 1/4 pounds. His professional record, 40 victories, including 28 knockouts, 12 defeats with 2 draws, and 1 no decision. By not making weight, he has vacated his title, but tonight he fights for pride. Damas y caballeros de Ciudad Obregón, Mexico, the 2-time featherweight champion of the world, Orlando City Salido.
Come on. Touch him up. Lomachenko. Touch him up. Let's have a good fight.
Lomachenko, his official record, amateur and pro so far combined, is 397-1. 2 Olympic gold medals in 2 different weight divisions, and the Val Barker Award as most outstanding boxer in the Olympic Games. But has he in Salido, that tough veteran fighter who's used to upsetting the odds, bitten off more than he can chew this early in his professional career?
Round 1, and it is anticipated by many, as Roy Jones suggested, that Lomachenko's speed could control the early round. Salido has a tremendous record in recent years against southpaws, including 2 knockouts of Juan Manuel Lopez of Puerto Rico at a moment when Lopez was expected by many to rise to the top of the featherweight division. Salido creates the effect he needs against southpaws with a very good straight right hand and the left hook, which is his finishing punch.
But Lopez did not have the speed nor the power that this kid Lomachenko has, nor the experience. So with that being said, he's in against a total different animal here.
Now, when we say that Lomachenko has speed, this is not to say that he's one of those high-volume punchers who have been so prevalent in recent years. He generally won't throw punches until he has faked his man out of position. So he throws at a relatively low rate, uses a lot of movement, and what Max Kellerman calls an extremely active front foot to set up his combination.
Yeah, you notice he's constantly probing Lomachenko with that right foot. He tries to get it outside an orthodox, meaning a right-hand fighter's lead foot. Once he does, that straight right hand of Salido that's so good against the southpaw is largely useless. He's got to cross it across his entire body. Takes too long, it doesn't land with force. When Lomachenko achieves the position, he can let his hands go because defensively, he's much safer than his opponent.
Interesting that early on we see Salido working the left jab. There's a CompuBox statistical count that shows that of all the top fighters in the sport who are conventional stanced, he uses the left jab less than any of the others. Sometimes as little as 10% of his punch output, when some guys throw the jab 60 or 65% of the time.
Lomachenko believes that Salido's best weapon is the uppercut. He told us yesterday in the fighter meeting. He saw Lomachenko in that training footage we showed earlier, throwing those uppercuts. They were blurry. They were so fast you couldn't see his hands moving hardly.
And when he said, now he corners Salido and goes after him with a combination. When he said to us yesterday he worries more about Salido's uppercut than anything else, I took that to mean I'm not terribly worried when he's away from me. I don't want him close to me all that often.
Yeah, that and the fact that he doesn't want to get caught with a punch by Salido that he doesn't see coming. The uppercuts and the hooks are very difficult to see coming because they come from around your gloves.
Salido started out working upstairs with the jab. Now he fires that straight right hand. Lands it on the chest of Lomachenko.
Just showed Lomachenko that he does have something to worry about.
Round 1, relatively slow pace. There's Mayra Salido, wife of Orlando Salido. Together they came from Mexico to the United States several years ago, seeking economic opportunity, and now live in Phoenix, Arizona. He expects to be getting his permanent residency card very soon.
Don't despair.
Don't be too close to the ropes, okay? That's when he starts loosening up, all right? When he throws, you throw. Don't let him build in the initiative. The bucket. Relax, relax.
Use your speed, use your speed. Don't let him corner you. Just use your speed. Move it, stick and move. Watch out for the below the belt.
You see that Lomachenko is trained by his father. He has been dedicated to this craft and to the accomplishments he's seeking for his entire life. Very slow-paced first round. Salido was 5 out of 26, 4 of them to the body. Lomachenko only 3 of only 20 punches thrown. Tough round to score, needless to say. Our Harold Letterman gave it to Lomachenko, presumably on greater ring generalship.
Salido looks very big here, much bigger than does Lomachenko. And he wasn't really breathing too hard after that first round. That's a good sign for a guy who's lost a lot of weight and put it back on so quickly.
More body shots there from Salido on the belly of Lomachenko. Lomachenko with a very conservative start, perhaps because of the size disadvantage he's now facing against a 147-pound man unofficially in the ring.
Right, the idea of weigh-ins the day before the fight was that fighters were dehydrating so much that they felt it was dangerous for them to take off all the weight and put it back on day of the fight. But one of the effects of the day before weigh-in is that fighters take even greater advantage of the time to rehydrate. And so tonight, instead of a featherweight fight, you have a welterweight in Salido, 147 pounds, against a lightweight in Lomachenko, 135, 6 pounds.
And let's face it, it's one thing to rehydrate radically when you've made every possible effort to make weight and you've gotten down to the 126-pound limit. But in this case, Salido has chosen to have it both ways, not bothering to go down to 126 and rehydrating 19 pounds overnight.
And also, as far as I think the experience factor goes, most people would have required that he didn't get no more than 10 pounds over the weight limit this morning. We have seen that on several occasions. They make the guy weigh in the next day, and he can't be over 10 pounds above the weight at a certain time.
A crafty professional management, aware of all of the niceties of the game, might have demanded that, and you're suggesting Lomachenko's people are still a little bit green.
Exactly.
And also maybe cocky, because they just think they got the goods.
The promoter, Top Rank, has been Salido's promoter for several years, but they see tremendous economic potential in Lomachenko. So promoter Bob Arum has been talking Lomachenko up very big before this fight, looking down the road toward the possibility of him being in some very big fights, including a sort of all-Olympic extravaganza, which could take place against Guillermo Rigondeaux. And now Salido batting Lomachenko around a little bit with body shots.
Look at the difference in their calves, guys. Just look at the calves.
That's why I say he looks like a full-blown welterweight here.
Yeah, that's at least one weight division. And that's a naturally bigger guy in Salido.
March 29, undefeated light heavyweight powerhouse Sergey Kovalev defends his title against Cedric Agnew. Check out HBO on Instagram for more photos like this one of Kovalev. Also that night, undefeated Kareem Mayfield faces young Puerto Rican prospect Thomas Delorme. And there's Kovalev at ringside, big-time boxing fan. The Russian from Fort Lauderdale has come to so many of our fights recently, we pretty much expect him to be at ringside every time. Always with a smile on his face, and after what he's done in the last couple of years, why not?
Got the heavy hand. Don't stand still while you're in there. Flex.
Second round very much like the first. Small numbers of punches landed, not a huge number of punches thrown. Salido was a little bit more active than Lomachenko in that second round.
Stop! Break!
Kind of assume at this point that Lomachenko is waiting for Salido's motor to wear down just a little bit before challenging him more aggressively.
Well, he wants to come out a little bit slower than normal anyway because he's trying to pace himself over that 12-round period.
Never having fought more than 4 or 5.
Exactly. He knows that he's not experienced in going 8, 9, and 10 rounds, so he has to be very careful about this.
I'm surprised at, not like either guy's landed a ton, but Salido here and there has landed these little chip shots on the inside, right hands. He seems to found a little hole in Lomachenko's defense on the inside.
A lot of people wondered whether the Ukrainian star was biting off more than he could chew, choosing a fight like this so early in his career, in this setting, with this particular fan base. And so far, it doesn't look as rosy for him as his biggest fans might have expected.
Good thing for Salido is he's doing exactly what he wants to do right now, which is making a semi-ugly fight, throwing a lot of punches on the waistline, as you see right there, like that. And this is what he wants to do.
Box! And now Lawrence Cole, the referee, warns Lomachenko for holding and pulling Salido. Lomachenko got a curious look on his face as if to say, what in the world do you mean?
I thought you could hold or clinch at least in pro boxing.
Salido is used to not being the story coming into the fight, even against Orlando Cruz, where he won this belt in his last fight. Cruz was the first openly gay boxer. That became the story, not the fact that Salido beat him. Juan Ma was the star when they fought, and Salido beat him twice. Mikey Garcia beat Salido, but of course he was the star. And he's found that throughout his career. The story never seems to be about Salido, but he doesn't always follow the script.
And he's throwing a good overhand right at Lomachenko, but of course Lomachenko has seen 3 million of those.
Round 3 of a scheduled 12. Salido throwing 42 more punches already in the fight than Lomachenko, and landing to the body there. Lomachenko clearly very conscious of trying to pace himself to go the distance.
And while pacing himself, Jim, he can't continue to let Salido get on first.
That was his best 3-punch combination in the fight so far. Crowd's getting a little restless. They'd like to see more activity. Lomachenko letting his hands go a little bit more in the last minute of that round.
How you feeling? Don't worry about the ref. Don't worry about the ref. Just use your speed, use your distance, counter him. Don't stand there and trade with him. Just counter and move.
Don't despair. Relax. Just give it time. Everything's going great. Open up the hooks. Open up the hooks behind the ears. And close up your guard. I can tell you, if you leave him breaking, put your glove in his face.
He see Lomachenko land a jab followed by a good left hand and a hook that both caught him on the chin, but they had no effect, and that's partially because of that size differential.
Happy box numbers through 3. Salido 22 of 120, Lomachenko 19 of 80. So Salido's throwing more, Lomachenko's landing at a higher rate. They both had 9 connected punches by CompuBox count in the 3rd round. Harold, how do you have it so far?
You know, Jim, it's very interesting. In the first round, Vasyl Lomachenko walked him down the entire round. I mean, he just backed him up from beginning to end, so that's why I gave it to him. But in rounds 2 and 3, Orlando Salido got aggressive, figured out the way to beat the southpaws to keep backing him up, and landed clean, hard shots. I thought Salido clearly won rounds 2 and 3. He's the aggressor. He's punching harder. 2-1, 29-28, Salido.
Orlando Salido had an up-and-down year in 2013. Max talked about the big win over Orlando Cruz in October, and he looked dominant in that fight. Earlier in the year, he was dreadful for him in a loss to Mikey Garcia, in which he went down 4 times. Now he seems to bother Lomachenko with body shots here in round number 4.
Yeah, he's landed some really good body shots, and a few of them are landing low, but the ref is really not saying anything to him about it. So he continues to do it.
And you can see where Salido's size bothers Lomachenko on the inside, but also he really has some he has exposed certain defensive deficiencies of Lomachenko's on the inside, I'm surprised at how easily Salido's landing on the inside.
Particularly the right hand to the belly. Now Lomachenko manages to catch Salido with a right hand shot coming in.
From long range, from this distance, Lomachenko seems to be able to see the shots coming and parry and avoid them.
It's when Salido steps inside that Lomachenko hasn't been able to stop him, particularly from landing to the body. Now there's a good fast-handed combination by Lomachenko.
And even from getting caught in exchanges. When they exchange on the inside, Lomachenko moves his hands and is losing some of those exchanges, which I think is surprising.
Those body shots right there are going to have him very sore tomorrow because this is something that he's never experienced. This is one of the things in pro boxing that you don't get to experience much in amateur boxing. The body shots really don't count for much in amateur boxing, whereas the pro fight, they count and they hurt for 2 or 3 days after the actual fight.
All a part of the new experience for Vasyl Lomachenko. And by the way, the irony of that, of course, is that he won his first professional bout against Jose Ramirez with 2 body shot knockdowns. He got the better of the body shots that night. That isn't the case so far tonight against Orlando Salido.
It was important for Lomachenko to win a belt as soon as possible. He didn't want to be coddled on the way up, and that obviously isn't the case. I mean, he's hit very, very tough tonight.
Hard right hand lands for Salido on the chin of Lomachenko. Lomachenko didn't seem to be fazed by that. The body shots have bothered him more. Hard right hand for Lomachenko on the inside. Earlier this week, we asked Vasyl Lomachenko his feelings about the political unrest in his home country, Ukraine.
It's been really hard for me. The worst part is that I can't do much about it. Being here, I can't really help people over there. I definitely wouldn't be standing on the sidelines just watching it happen. I would certainly have to do something about it. In just 2 days, there were 100 deaths of innocent people in Ukraine. It was really, really upsetting for me to see this. No matter what is happening in Ukraine right now, it is my motherland, it is my country, my home. I will always think about it, praise it, and live there no matter what.
Power punches through the 4th round. Salido 38 of 164, Lomachenko 16 of 49. So far, in 4 rounds, Orlando Salido has thrown 115 more power punches by CompuBox count than has Lomachenko. And Salido had a 16-6 power punch advantage in the 4th round, and he's building a lead on Harold Lederman's scorecards, which not going the way Vasyl Lomachenko wanted it when he came out of the amateur ranks after that spectacular career and told the promoter, Bob Arum, I don't need a signing bonus. I want to fight for a title in my very first fight. Arum said it doesn't really work that way, but maybe we can get you a title shot in the 2nd pro fight, and Lomachenko said, do it. That's why he's here.
Well, he's also, first he's got to try to win this fight, and it appears he may be losing. Also, considering his amateur status, his name has been bandied about with names like Rigondeaux and other stars in the weight neighborhood. Mikey Garcia just wiped Salido out. I mean, dropped him 1,000,000 times and beat him up and won every round. And those are the kinds of people that Lomachenko wants to be compared to.
But Mikey Garcia was closer to the same weight as Salido, where in this case, this is 2 separate weight classes. I mean, 2 weight divisions apart almost.
And Mikey was not only a really good amateur, not like Lomachenko, but a good one. He's also an experienced pro at this point.
And as a matter of fact, for Mikey, his amateur style was more of a pro fighter than the amateur fighter. So his amateur style probably caused him not to be as good of an amateur fighter as he is shown to be as a professional.
It's a highly inauspicious start so far for Lomachenko based on the expectations and based also on the perception of many that the first half of the fight should belong to the younger, faster, more athletic challenger, and the second half of the fight might belong to the older, cagier, more experienced champion at that time, no longer a champion because Salido gave up the title on the scale yesterday. Lomachenko starts to get more aggressive and again let his hands go. And he lands a combination in the center of the ring.
Lomachenko's shown flashes of this really good boxing and turning Salido and landing crisp, effective shots, but they just don't seem to bother Salido.
And once again, in case you joined us late, the absence of real effect from Lomachenko's punches may have to do with an unofficial 11-pound gap in weight. Lomachenko rehydrating fairly normally from 126 pounds at the weigh-in yesterday to 136 tonight. And Orlando Salido putting on 19 pounds overnight to weigh 147 in the ring. April 12, live on HBO pay-per-view. It's the rematch of Manny Pacquiao against Timothy Bradley. In their first fight, Bradley won a very disputed decision. Now everyone looks to see if Pacquiao can regain his welterweight title. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in the dressing room, and though he only arrived a little bit more than 40 minutes ago, in fact almost exactly 40 minutes ago, extremely late for the main event, he's pretty close to getting ready.
Oh, wait, not yet. Wait, relax.
Lomachenko stepped it up a little bit in round 5 by CompuBox count, landing 9 of 30 to 3 of 45 for Salido. So if you're looking for a round that might help even the scorecards a little bit for Lomachenko, that was probably it. Now we go to the 6th. Could be that having failed to make weight and having put on so much weight overnight, that Salido might fade in the second half of the fight. Certainly, Lomachenko's corner is probably hoping at this moment that'll be the case.
Well, he'll definitely slow down some because of that big weight gain. He'll become a little bit more, I guess you can call it somewhat soggy, and he's starting to show that now. These will be the best opportunities for Lomachenko to land sharper, more crisp punches.
Couple of good body shots again for Salido, trying to step the pace back up after taking round 5 off, perhaps.
Might be a good idea for Lomachenko to attack the body, as we saw in his first fight over here, against a guy who's, while he's big, you know, if he's slowing down, would probably especially not like it down there. Maybe a little worried about the counter, though.
Especially with him putting on so much weight, you definitely should attack his body because, of course, you know his body can't be functioning right at this time. He has 19 extra pounds to put on since the weigh-in.
And moments ago, you saw a graphic piece of professionalism for Salido as referee Lawrence Cole was talking to them from one side. Salido fired 2 good right hands to the left hip of Lomachenko, well below the belt line.
And what else Lomachenko has to learn is that taking these body shots takes just as much out of you as throwing them.
Solid right hook there for Lomachenko. He's definitely winning the battle upstairs, but the battle downstairs is being won by Salido.
And I think Salido's, you know, I call them chip shots, but he's so big for this fight that I think those little shots on the inside have Lomachenko concerned about going downstairs, and that may be one of the reasons he's not doing it so much.
And when a guy has a spectacular torso with an extremely rippled belly, as Lomachenko does, one question that arises in the gym is how well does he take body shots? Sometimes those guys with a little bit of puffiness around the belly are the ones who can take it to the body better than the guys who are ripped.
That's exactly right. And Salido is still ripping some really good body shots in every chance that he gets against Lomachenko.
Digging with the right hand to the body over and over. Lomachenko still working almost exclusively upstairs after having won his first pro fight with body shot knockdowns.
Open it up. Let's go. We're good. We're good. We're good, son. We're good, son. Are we winning or what? Are we losing what? No, we're good. We're good. You've got the fight. You've got to do it. You got to press. You got to look for it.
He's running out of gas. Come on, press him now. He's running out of gas. But watch out for his right hand. Keep your hands up. Focus.
He sees Salido stepping in and steps right on Lomachenko's front foot, which causes both fighters to dip a little bit early, and there's a low blow, but the referee couldn't really call it because they stepped on one another's feet.
CompuBox numbers through 6, and now Lomachenko has evened up the landed punch equation. Coming on in the last 2 rounds, Lomachenko now lands 55 out of 183 to Salido's 54 of 317. Salido with a 51-29 power advantage, as Lomachenko's landed punches include a fair number of jabs. Harold Letterman, how do you have it halfway through?
Okay, Jim, I've got it 58-56. 4 rounds to 2 for the more aggressive Orlando Salido. You know, Jim, he's hammering him to the body. He tried to make a dogfight out of it, and he did. And he's backing the guy up, and he's doing nice work to the body. And I'll tell you something. Vasyl Lomachenko, for big amateur star, sure holds a lot. I mean, I don't know if they teach that in the Ukraine, but good grief. I mean, Salido comes in, and Vasyl Lomachenko pushes his head down or grabs his torso, and so far Lawrence Cole's let him get away with it. 4-2, Salido.
Well, I didn't notice Lomachenko doing too much holding in the first round, but I have noticed it since then. And I think that's partly because he doesn't have an answer for Salido's size and strength. I think right now this is a 3-3, 4-2 type fight favoring Salido, if it favors anyone.
If it's 3-3, that's a lot different than 4-2. You're either even or you're down 2 rounds.
And yet it's only 1 round.
Those body shots are really causing a little bit of drama here because Salido has, I mean not Salido, Lomachenko has to block that body shot before he can counter, which is not allowing him to counter Salido coming in as you would usually see him do.
And by my lights, a fair number of the body shots in the last couple of rounds have landed below the belt, and I have not seen a single warning yet from Lawrence Cole on that. So that's the kind of, quote, professionalism that Lomachenko was expected to have to face tonight, and he's getting it.
Call them veteran tactics.
He was worried about headbutts. Low blows are mounting up.
Low blows, and when his foot lands on top of Lomachenko's foot, he's not quick to take it off. That's a move you'd expect more from a guy with Lomachenko's amateur background. He'd have a better answer than just dipping, getting up, and holding Salido to stop Salido's momentum. You'd think maybe Lomachenko would step around him and give him something to think about.
Well, he probably not holding as much because he got a warning early for that. He definitely doesn't want to get disqualified. So that may be why you see him not really holding. Oh, low blow again.
Another low blow and a good rally by Lomachenko down the stretch. 4-punch combination. A look at downtown San Antonio. As we mentioned, one of the great fight towns in North America. Already Lomachenko and Salido are more than midway through their featherweight bout. And we still await the main event between Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and Brian Vera. Yet to come. Here's Vera in his dressing room. Native Texan, lives in Austin. Should have some popularity among the fan base here, although of course many of the Mexican and Mexican-American fans in the audience will be expected to be rooting for Chavez Jr. Although those fans, the Chavez Jr. fans, booed the decision in Carson last December when Brian Vera got the short end of the stick from 3 California judges against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Vasyl Lomachenko had an overall advantage of 16-15 in punches landed in the 7th. And he has the advantage of landing more punches upstairs. Novice judges are far more likely to score the punches upstairs. But Salido is swamping him with body punches, having landed 50 of them to only 7 for Lomachenko.
Salido just landed a left uppercut that may have hurt Lomachenko. definitely knocked him off balance.
I think their feet may have gotten crossed up.
Yeah. And now he's leading with the head first, which is what he wants to do. This will make Lomachenko very uncomfortable because it's something that he's not seen before.
And you see why there's a reason that guys don't just fight fighters like Salido right away, no matter how decorated they are in the amateurs.
Most likely down 4 rounds to 3, or maybe even 5-2, depending on how the first round was scored. Vasyl Lomachenko can ill afford to lose more rounds as he tries to win a professional title in what's billed as only his second pro fight.
His dad told him something that was very important. He told him that now Salido is starting to wear down a little bit, so you can open up and throw a few more punches at him and take a few more risks. But you can't let him keep making it a close fight like this on the inside, because it doesn't give Lomachenko a chance to punch.
Well, we mentioned at the beginning that Lomachenko, despite his speed advantage, is not the volume puncher of the kind you've seen so many of in recent years. But if ever there were a time for him to become more of a volume puncher, I think he needs to do it now.
And disappointingly, he's held a lot, as Harold mentioned, in this fight, and he hasn't put in the work to the body that you would think would start to pay dividends around this time in the fight, but he really hasn't been the one concentrating on the body. Salido has.
This is the reason why most hot prospects coming into professional boxing get an 8, 10, 12, 15, 20 fight professional apprenticeship to learn all of those nuances before they get into a fight like this.
Like a bomb cushion. I tell you what though, Jim, after 395 fights, I wouldn't really want to go through that bomb cushion either. I think I'm ready for the big boys, and I would try it just like he did.
That was the whole point.
And it's not over yet.
There he is. Lomachenko makes Salido miss with a right hand. Counters with 2 good shots upstairs, but then leans in and ties Salido up, where you would think a guy of Lomachenko's quality would be able to land a few more shots, get out of the way, and not have to resort to holding like this.
And while he is holding around the shoulders and the arms upstairs against Salido, Salido is pounding away to the belly and the belt line, and sometimes a little below.
And there's a low blow.
First warning that I've seen from Lawrence Cole. Texan James Kirkland in the crowd. Mentioned that Brian Vera is from Austin. James Kirkland, of course, is an Austin native, born and raised. Had a tremendous performance against Glenn Tapia in December.
Close your eyes now. Don't despair. It's coming. Let that overhand go.
Don't try to counter him. Just use your jab and then use your right hand. Come on, do it. You can do it.
Here you see a short left uppercut followed by a right semi-hook uppercut, and it did knock Lomachenko off balance. It wasn't their feet. He just got caught out in a bad position with 2 clean punches.
CompuBox numbers through 8, fascinating. First of all, you saw the graphic at the bottom of the screen that showed that each fighter has outlanded the other one in 4 rounds, 4-4. And overall, CompuBox finds both fighters landing 82 punches through the first 8 rounds. Salido with a 79-46 edge in power shots, because body shots are called power shots. Harold Letterman has Salido up by 2 with 4 rounds to go.
And you see, they may be landing the same, but Salido's shots are landing, with greater thud. And Lomachenko is tying Salido up because he doesn't know how else to keep him off him.
Well, like I said, in amateur boxing, guys don't score. They don't score the body shots like that. So most guys don't like to go to the body because it's useless. But in professional boxing, body shots are a big part of the game. And this is the biggest lesson that he's learning tonight.
Lomachenko was supremely confident coming in. You have to expect he did not expect to be in this kind of hot water coming into the latter stages of the fight. If the official scorecards are in line with Harold Letterman's, Lomachenko could win 3 of the last 4 rounds and he would get a draw for that. He needs to win all 4 to secure a win in the fight, if in fact Harold Lederman's scorecard is in line with the official judges.
Well, he also didn't expect that he'd be coming in fighting against a welterweight tonight.
100%.
But Salido is fighting a very smart fight, I must say that. And Salido has upset a lot of fighters in his day, and he's doing a really good job of offsetting the experienced amateur fighter and making him learn the difference between an amateur and a pro fighter.
You know, when people talk about intelligent aggression, that's what Salido is showing today. Loose, relaxed, relying on his timing and experience.
And he said in the fighter meetings that this is what he was going to do. He was going to make it an ugly fight, try to make the kids see things they didn't see as an amateur. See, a lot of things he's doing, like that low blow right there, are not legal in amateur boxing.
That's 2 warnings from Cole. At some point, he should at least warn that the next time it's going to be a point.
And a penalty point could be big under these circumstances, but we haven't seen it so far. We've certainly seen a fair number of low blows from Orlando Salido. There's another one.
But at least that wasn't in full view of the ref.
No.
Oh, no, he knows how to do it on the other side of the referee.
He's just doing it so much that the ref's bound to catch someone.
A no-holds-barred effort by Orlando Salido. Every trick in the book. And Roy, there are some state jurisdictions, I believe, where he would not have been allowed to gain 19 pounds overnight and come in with this big a weight advantage over Lomachenko.
There are several state jurisdictions that would have not been accepted in.
June 7 on HBO pay-per-view, a fascinating middleweight championship fight. Puerto Rican superstar Miguel Cotto moving up in weight, taking on the long-time 160-pound kingpin, Sergio Martinez of Argentina, live from Madison Square Garden. Great fight, great night, June 7.
Only 2 rounds to go. Come on, well, you can do it, man. How you feeling? Are you still fresh? How are your legs? I think he's getting tired. He's punching you too much below the belt. Try to avoid it. Just stay focused, stay focused.
We gotta be careful, we gotta fake him. Fake him, try 2 punches all the time.
More bad news for Lomachenko. Orlando Salido had numerically his best round of the fight in the 9th round, landing 18 out of 61 blows, to only 9 of 28 for Lomachenko. So he managed to wobble him early in the round. He outlanded him throughout the round. That was the high number of connected punches in the fight so far for Salido. Harold, did you give him that round as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I thought Orlando Salido won the last 2 rounds. You know, Jim, it's very interesting. Lawrence Cole has won Salido for low blows, but look at this. Look at Vasyl hold. I mean, he's grabbing him so bad, it's atrocious. And Cole hasn't said a thing about the holding. I mean, there he warned them for pushing, but he hasn't said anything about the holding. Vasyl's holding him again. So anyway, to get back to the score, 6 rounds to 3, 87-84, Orlando Salido.
I agree with Harold about the holding, and the ref probably should warn Lomachenko about that. It's excessive. If Lomachenko's corner is saying, hey, avoid the low blows, you know, if the guy keeps hitting you low, there's one thing you can do about it. If the ref won't do something, that's hit him low back.
That's exactly right. That's the one thing you should do. But once again, without this American or professional experience, he doesn't know these things.
There's another one right there on the hip by Salido, effectively done on the other side where Cole couldn't see it. All right, Max, let's begin to speculate about the promotional plan that produced this. What if it turns out that this was an overreach and that it was, in effect, a bad idea for Lomachenko to fight somebody like Orlando Salido in his first title fight outing in his second professional fight?
He's got to do something dramatic for it not to be a bad idea.
So what next? What if he loses the fight?
Well, I mean, maybe it'll have taught him something, that you can't just jump into the professional ranks and beat a guy like Salido so quickly. Although, to tell you the truth, I thought he would do it coming in. If you ask me who I thought would win this fight,
most ringside media thought he would do it. That was clear.
Right.
Stop!
Salido seemed to go to the canvas rather easily there, like he was looking for a breather.
Yeah, he was. He's definitely getting tired.
And he got it.
Vasyl's trainer or dad told him that last round. He's been telling him that for some time now, that Salido is getting a little tired. And I think that was a perfect example of that. Now, had Lomachenko threw more body shots, like Max said earlier in the fight, we really see a very fatigued Orlando Salido right now.
When we've seen Lomachenko previously, it looked like that's where his real power was, to the body.
Yeah, but the thing about that, Max, is what I did notice about Lomachenko in his first fight is that he's more of a loopy puncher than he is a straight puncher. And with that being said, he has to be closer to the guy to land his punches than normal.
Further compounding the problem for Lomachenko going into these late rounds. Even if he and his father come to the conclusion he needs a knockout to win, I'm not sure he can go for it under these circumstances.
That's it, son. Relax, relax, breathe. Breathe, Orlando, breathe. Very good. Everything's good. Everything's good. Here, pull here. Pull.
It's only 2 rounds to go. You gotta throw more punches. You're not throwing enough punches. He's throwing more punches than you do. You gotta pick it up. You gotta do some more damage to him. You gotta do some more uppercuts. Come on. And you gotta keep your hands up. Keep your hands up, and it's only 2 rounds to go. Come on. The guy's getting tired.
Orlando Salido has landed 112 punches through 10 rounds by CompuBox count, and 80 of them have been body shots. I have a hunch, guys, that's about as close as Vasyl Lomachenko's father is going to come to saying you need a knockout to win the fight.
This is Lomachenko wanted to win a title as a pro and dreamt of this and wanted to do it right away. Well, here it is, Lomachenko. You're in against a tough guy who didn't show up to lie down. He's probably beating you. He's bigger than you. He's stronger than you. He's much more experienced. These are the championship rounds. You've never been this deep into a fight. What are you going to do about this? You asked for it, you got it.
He's 6 rounds beyond where he has ever been in a fight before. Vasyl Lomachenko in the black and yellow trunks. In case you've just joined us, we are live in San Antonio, Texas. The man in the black and yellow, Vasyl Lomachenko of Ukraine, trying to become the very first fighter in the history of boxing to win a world title in only his 2nd professional fight. And so far, it doesn't look like it's going to happen, as Orlando Salido has played it cagey all the way through the week. Gave up his world title for the advantage of coming in with a big weight advantage over Lomachenko, and it's working for him. And that body shot, perhaps on the belt line, perhaps just below, appeared to hurt Lomachenko.
Yeah, but that was horribly low.
I feel that Lomachenko has gotten to Salido in the last round and a half. And special fighters, and to have his amateur record, you have to be special, can come up with big dramatic things in situations like this.
And he's learned a little bit already, because he's now trying to snatch his hands away during the clinch and punch instead of just holding like he was earlier.
Now it's Salido who's doing the effective holding and taking advantage of the fact that Cole hasn't called much of it against Lomachenko.
Salido went down to the canvas a little too easily in the last round, betraying, you know, he may have a good poker face, but betraying the fact that he's tired and maybe worn down. And in this round, he's getting, it seems to me, a little more hurt than he should by these short little shots inside from Lomachenko.
And holding, and buying time. Getting away with the holding because Lomachenko has gotten away with that through much of the bout.
Lomachenko is getting much smarter, though. He's learning a lot tonight about true pro boxing, good body shot.
Yeah. Strafing left hand to the body from Lomachenko seemed to really hurt Salido there.
And now he's learning how to fight out of his break.
Salido holding again. Very effectively slowing Lomachenko down in a round that Lomachenko has been dominating.
But he's making him burn a lot of energy trying to pull those hands back.
Right, I was about to say it. Especially with his weight and strength advantage.
Yep.
Salido using every veteran tactic in the book on Lomachenko tonight.
Well, this is no amateur fight, is it, Roy Jones?
Not at all.
This is a pro fight.
And this is no amateur fighter that you're fighting against, because this guy has the heart of a real champion.
At least a round.
You did a great job. This is the last round. You just gotta continue doing it. Just move, stick and move. Throw as more punches as you can. Stay focused and just throw punches.
Open it up, open it up. Got the tape. Where's the scissors? Where's the scissors? Cut it. How is it? How are we doing? No, you got it. We're good. We're good. We're good. This is the last round. This is the last round. Last run. Come on. Throw it all. Throw it all. We got to win this round.
As the mid-round period goes on, coming into the 20th round, or the 12th round, I should say, I'm watching our replay monitor, and it appears that somewhere back in the tape room, they're putting together a montage of low blows from Salido, and there are many.
And you know, I know Lawrence Cole, you know, Salido knows when to throw them when Cole can't see them, but he's missing a lot of shots. I mean, even from behind.
Time!
There was a bad hit, but.
All right, good. All right, time in, box!
Even from behind Lomachenko, there are some shots that Cole has to know are low that he's just missing.
Well, I hate to say it, but I think Lawrence Cole has done his normal dreadful job. He's just a dreadful referee, unfortunately, and that's one of the black eyes on the state of Texas. It happens over and over and
there
over.
it is again. I mean, Salido landed a right hand to the leg or hip or something, and Cole that time was in position.
Cole's father, Dickie Cole, is involved in the Texas State Athletic Commission. Over and over and over, we come here and watch Lawrence Cole do this, referee big fights, and somehow miss what most other people in the arena can clearly see.
Salido just landed a good right hand, though.
Even as Lomachenko takes the play away from Salido, Salido makes him pay a price.
Salido is just a smart, tough fighter, very tough guy. One of the kind of guys that you don't want to see a guy in with too early because he's so crafty.
Just to button the point, Cole would in no way have been inappropriate to penalize Lomachenko at some point in the fight for holding. And it was absolutely incumbent on him, or so it appears, to penalize Salido at some point for low blows.
Oh, you hurt Salido.
Badly with a left hand, first upstairs and then downstairs.
Yes. It could be a clutch comeback for Lomachenko, and Salido's holding again.
He hurt bad. Oh, he's really hurt bad now.
Lomachenko may have a chance with a minute to go.
Yes, he does have a chance.
He can keep his hands free.
Yes, he does have a chance.
Oh, he can keep his hands free.
Stop! Step back!
Oh my God.
Oh my God, what in the world is Cole doing?
He buying Salido some time.
That's what it looks like.
Unreal.
Salido needs it, though.
Another low blow from Salido.
He's hurt.
Right on the hip.
He's hurt very bad.
And another one.
Oh,
and
another one.
Right in
Three
Cole's
in a row,
face.
right in Cole's face.
And
Meantime,
all of those were on the side where
shot.
Cole was standing.
Lomachenko is throwing everything and the kitchen sink at Salido to try to get him down.
Oh, good body shot.
A spirited performance by Salido.
Yes,
A terrific attempt at a comeback by Lomachenko, and a dreadful refereeing job from Lawrence Cole. Everything we might have expected to see and more.
Got it? You got the fight. Come on. Water! Come on, let me in.
All right, first let's take a look at a replay of the punch that hurt Salido with about a minute, 15 seconds to go. Roy?
Yeah, straight left right down the middle. The prettiest straight left that Lomachenko threw all night long, I think. Caught him coming in, so his weight helped him to get hit harder with that punch right there. Right on the button. You can't ask for a better punch. He ran right into a straight left hand, and that definitely hurt him worse than any other punch in the fight. Here you see some great body shots right there by Lomachenko. That shows that amateur background, that experience.
And Salido held effectively down the stretch. Cole allowed him to do it, and he bought enough time to make it out of the fight.
And guys, he could have either evened up the scorecards there, or if there was a round different from how Harold had it, that could have won Lomachenko the fight, or if someone gave him a 10-8 round, that may have won Lomachenko the fight.
I got a hunch none of those things will have happened. Just a wild guess. And now Roy Jones, show us some of the low blows that Lawrence Cole apparently didn't see throughout the fight.
Repeatedly, this kid threw low blow after low blow right there. Every time you see him land low blow, you'll see Lomachenko dip and go down like right there. So you know they're affecting him. Bang, right again. Lomachenko always reaches down or goes down. Boom, right there. I mean, how can you not see these shots? They're right in the ref's face, and I mean, he's looking up though and not down, as you see his eyes right there. His eyes are focused on the head level instead of the entire body. You must watch the entire body so you catch these small punches landing in bad areas.
Blind, incompetent, or both. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the official scorecards. Levi Martinez scores it 115 to 113 for Lomachenko. Jack Reese scores it 116 to 112. He has it for Salido. Oren Schellenberger scores it 115, 113 to the winner by split decision, Orlando City Salido.
So the quasi-welterweight who took advantage of the opportunity to manage the scales in his favor and came into the fight with a functional 11-pound weight advantage over Vasyl Lomachenko, makes his good game plan, his excellent body punching, and his professional experience stand up to beat Lomachenko and upend the Ukrainian fighter's attempt to win a championship.
Yeah, he did all those things. The weight gain was the biggest thing. By not even attempting to lose the weight, that showed you that he knew what he was up against, he knew what he was facing, and he came in very prepared to deal with just that.
All in all, Lomachenko got a crash course education in the difference between the amateur boxing that he dominated and professional boxing, which is different.
Yes, and that showed the difference. Tonight was a perfect situation to show you the difference, the true difference in amateur boxing and pro boxing.
Now let's take a look at CombiBox numbers, and you'll see the contrast between Lomachenko, who landed most of his punches upstairs, and Salido, who landed the overwhelming majority of his punches downstairs, and in some instances, way downstairs. Lomachenko ultimately landing 22 more and landing in a much higher connect percentage. Power shots, and remember, body shots are all called power shots. And Salido landing 137, so he landed 32 more body shots than Lomachenko. Lomachenko, with that great technical skill, landing 44% of his body shots. Lomachenko unable, however, to make up the gap created by the greater activity and the good body shots early on by Salido. Here's a look at a graphic which shows you all the punches which landed legally for the two fighters, including those landed on Salido on the left side and those landed against Lomachenko on the right side. What you don't see here is the large number of body shots that landed below the belt on Lomachenko and significantly affected the outcome of the fight. And Max Kellerman stands by with the winner, Orlando Salido.
Congratulations, Orlando. As usual, you're not the story coming into the fight, the opponent is. And as often been the case in your career, you're standing here with the win. How did you do it tonight?
Bueno, fue a base de mucho trabajo. Sabíamos que tenemos una pelea dura contra Lomachenko. Nos preparamos al 100%. Sabíamos que era un peleador fuerte, joven, rápido, inteligente, pero hicimos todo lo que tenemos que hacer para ganar la pelea.
It was a tough fight against Lomachenko, and we knew we were going to have that. We knew he was young, he was fast, and he was strong, but we knew what we had to do to win.
And what was that?
Pues hacer una pelea inteligente, estarle midiendo los golpes, calculando sus golpes, sus movimientos para poder golpearlo.
Be intelligent, measuring his punches, calculating his punches, measure him up so we can counterattack.
Did you feel offended in some way that a fighter so early in his professional career would think that he could beat you?
No, en ningún momento. Yo sé que él es un buen peleador. Por algo es medallista de oro 2 veces. Pues yo nomás tenía que trabajar duro para vencerlo y fue lo que hice. Gracias a Dios seguimos todo al pie de la letra. Lástima que nomás fallamos en el peso, pero porque yo ya no puedo dar la 116.
No, he's a true champion. He's a true fighter. You know, for something, he's a two-time world medalist, Olympian medalist. You know, but we did our job. We followed the rules as we planned, and we did our job.
Since you brought up follow the rules, you didn't make weight, and you came in with a significant size advantage. Why?
Bueno, porque mi cuerpo ya no respondió. Ya tengo 10, 11, 12 años peleando en 126. Ya mi cuerpo ya no más años era más difícil y este año ya no se pudo.
It's been 12 years at 126, and my body just could no longer do it. So 12 years, and my body just simply could no longer do it.
At the end of the fight, the last 2 rounds, he started to rally. You looked hurt, particularly in the 12th round. Were you?
No, pues en el asalto 2 estábamos al tú por tú y sí me alcanzó a agarrar con unos ganchos al hígado. Fueron como 5 seguidos, pero gracias a la preparación que traía me pude detener de pie, pero sí me lastimaron los golpes esos.
Yeah, he did hurt me. He did catch me with some 5 shots to the liver, but because of my preparation, we were able to continue.
Thank you, Orlando, and congratulations.
Gracias, y vamos para adelante, 130 libras. Felicidades a Lomachenko, buena pelea. Gran campeón también.
Vasyl, you are one of the most decorated amateurs ever. You wanted to fight a guy like Salido right away. You got what you wished. Tell me about it.
Большое спасибо за этот шанс. Конечно, очень жаль, что не получилось использовать его. Ну, в любом случае, я удовлетворен. Я, в принципе, сделал все, что на сегодняшний день в моих силах. Спасибо.
Thanks for the chance to fight for a title in the second fight. I did my best. I really tried, but it didn't work out. So thanks, everybody.
Do you feel it was a good decision?
Ты согласен с решением?
Я не хотел бы говорить по поводу судейства, потому как я спортсмен, и я не вправе делать решения какие-либо. Судьи всегда правы.
I don't want to say anything about the judges. I'm a fighter, and my job is to fight.
What about the referee? More experienced pro fighters, if they're being consistently hit low, will point it out to the ref or else hit the guy back low. Is that a lack of professional experience? That you didn't hit him back low?
Ну, я как бы не люблю грязный бокс, я более люблю честную игру, поэтому я и не бил ниже пояса. Со стороны Салида, не знаю, может быть, это было неумышленно, может, это было специально, но в любом случае это спорт.
I don't like dirty fights. I'm a straight fighter. I'm clean. I don't like that kind of fighting, and that's why I didn't want to hit him below the belt. And if he did it, I'm not sure if he did intentionally or not. It doesn't matter.
We appreciate you not taking the bait and making excuses right now. He did not make weight, however, and his size and strength seemed to bother you. Tell me about fighting a fighter that size.
Как тебе удалось с человеком, который настолько был больше весил, чем ты?
Я не знаю, ну, просто я делал свою работу, просто я верил в себя, что я могу это сделать. Все дело, что у нас здесь, а остальное. Руки не знают, что они не умеют бить, ноги не знают, что они не умеют ходить и бегать. Знает все голова, поэтому все у нас здесь.
I didn't try to think of it. I believed I could beat him even if he was a bigger fighter than me, but it's all in the head.
Wouldn't take the bait, no excuses, appreciate the effort. Jim?
Still to come tonight, our main event.